Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. What we'll do is we'll just give everyone a couple minutes to come in on the live session just as they get notified that we're live. If you're tuning in on the replay, then you could probably fast forward a couple of minutes until we really rip into the juicy stuff. Just got my phone here so I can see who's with us. Cheers for the love, Tay. I like. Load them up. Awesome. It's going to be some kind of record. Look at that. 34 love hearts, and we've been on for about 10 seconds. Guys, as you're coming on, just say a quick g'day, thumbs up, just so that I know that you can hear me loud and clear. Awesome. Who's on? Who we got on here? We got Kim Lee, Liv, T, Rach, Andrea, Rochelle, Nath, Georgia. Heaps of you legends. Daria, Bronwyn, Kate, how you going? Awesome, guys. So as I said, you guys coming in now, probably give it another couple of minutes just to let everyone load in onto the session. Geary, welcome. Hey Nat, how you going? Sweet. So guys, what we'll do, keep this kind of brief. We'll probably keep it to about 20, 25 minutes. I'd like to keep it sharp, straight to the point. Otherwise, I end up bloody rambling. I always do it. So I'm going to try and keep myself in check. So if I start rambling, someone tell me. All right. Awesome. Hey, Crick. Thanks for jumping on. Okay, awesome. We'll get stuck into it, guys. That should be plenty of time. If people sort of start rolling in from now, then they can just catch up at the start. That's no worries. So what the topic of tonight really is about just staying focused on your health and fitness, staying in a positive mindset, the holistic approach to transformation through a really tough time of going through COVID-19. It's pretty crazy. Obviously, a lot of us have never experienced anything like this ever. So I guess I felt as though I could shed some light, I guess, from my experience working with lots of people to create a healthier, more positive life, and just some lessons that I learned in myself, because it's something that I take an interest in myself, is all about improving mindset, obviously feeling better, and just staying on top of your game is really important to living a healthy, happy life, and really controls your mental health. especially in tough, challenging times like this. So I've broken it down into 5 key points, and I'll run through the key points that we're going to cover quickly. So number 1 is it's okay to feel crap in this time. Number 2 is perspective and attitude. Number 3, mindfulness and consuming good content. Number 4 that we're going to go through is creating the right environment in your home, because you're going to be spending more and more time at home, so it's really important to create the right environment. And number 5, we're going to talk about support network, okay, because it's easy to feel isolated in a situation like this, and we don't want that. Okay, so I'll rip in to number 1, because I think when we say stay motivated, stay in a good mind space, it kind of puts way too much pressure on people, because if we have a crappy day, or if we're feeling crap, or we're feeling overwhelmed, then there's this pressure, there's this external pressure that we're putting on ourselves that it's not okay to feel that. And you're going to give yourself even more stress and anxiety by, let's say you're in a stressful situation, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be stressed out, I should be happy, I should be positive. You're adding more and more stress and anxiety to the situation. So I just want to clear up that it is okay to feel like crap. Emotions are there for a reason. They're key feedback mechanisms to sort of know where we're at, and it navigates us through certain situations. So it's okay to feel that. No, absolutely no one feels bloody awesome all the time. It's impossible. So I just want you to know that it's 100% normal, especially in this situation, to feel overwhelmed and fearful for the future and the unknown, because the unknown is uncertain. We're living day to day. But that leads me into the next key point, is it's all about is perspective and attitude. Now, there's so many things that we can't control at the moment, but why worry about that? Why consume your energy on worrying about something that you can't control? My piece of advice, and what I try to do myself, is just to put all my energy into the things that I can control. So that is my attitude. That is my perspective on the situation. That's something that I can control, and we can all control at every single minute of the day, is the way we look at things and our attitude towards things. So let me give you, I guess, like a bit of a scenario. There's option A in a situation like this. You can lock yourself in your house, watch the news all day, feel absolutely crippled, and feel like shit, and the only thing that's going to cheer you up is reaching into alcohol, chocolate, you name it. The list goes on. Everyone's got their own vice, etc. And look, it might give you that instant gratification, but overall it's going to make you feel crap, and you're going to end up on this merry-go-round, slippery slope, and all of a sudden a month or two's gone past. You've put on 10 kilos and you're not really feeling good about yourself, and you're sort of waving the white flag, and it's kind of like, oh, well, I'll start again when I can. Or B is grab it by the scruff of the neck and go, okay, this is an extremely challenging time, and I'm going to test myself. I'm going to do everything that I can do in my daily life to make myself feel good about myself, and try and stay as positive as I can. And I feel as though the most challenging times in life, when you can dig deep and do that, you grow as a person, which shapes you to be a better person in the long term. So that's the way that I like to look at it, is that, okay, this is an extremely tough time, but I can control my attitude and I can control my perspective on the situation, rather than going, look, I get it. It's a very serious, dangerous situation, and we've got to take all the precautions that we can. But it doesn't mean you have to like curl up in a little ball and give up. You can still exercise. You can still eat good. You can still get fresh air daily. You can still get back to what's important, because we don't have a choice. We can really hit the reset button on a lot of things, because when our normal lives are up and going, I don't know about you, but like mine's very fast paced. Working hard, always trying to do this, and this, and it can kind of get out of control on you. And you've got so many things going on, and you just kind of feel stressed out all the time and anxious, because you're not really getting much done. You're more or less bloody doing a little bit of everything, and you feel as though you're not as effective, and it leaves you feeling really anxious and stressed out and frustrated. Whereas what this is, it makes us make key decisions on what is actually important, and it allows us to trim off all the bullshit and all the fat and get back to what's important. So that's the way I like to look at this situation, is just sort of hitting the reset button and getting things back to just evaluating what's important in your life, and just having a bit of a stop, having a bit of a think. Who's joined in on the sesh? Kelly's on, Lockie, Brock, Davey, Emma. Hey Marty, Keita's on. Awesome guys. So, and that rolls into so quick recap. Number 2, every moment of every day we can control our perspective on a situation and our attitude, and it shapes our overall life. Not just this temporary little moment in time, but forever. Now, number 3 is practicing mindfulness. Obviously, if you're stressed out and you're not feeling really good about the situation, you've got a lot on your mind, there's a lot floating around, you need to put some calm into the storm. And something that I find invaluable is journaling. Because what can happen is, if we've got so many thoughts up in here, it just spins around, and you create this scenario of storm in a teacup. I'm sure you've all heard of that. Well, what journaling does, it just allows you to get it on paper, get it out of your head, and just clear the slate. And then you can, because when you write things down, it's getting it out, and you make sense of it when you're using your other senses to make sense of the situation. And 10 times out of 10, the situation is always smaller once you jot it down on a piece of paper than it is just swimming around up in here, because you get on a tangent, your mind runs off, and you just create this massive scenario. Now, a journal that I use is my auntie bought it for me. It's fantastic. It's called the 5-Minute Journal. You can Google it if that's what you're sort of interested in. So the 5-Minute Journal, it's unreal. I'll sort of rip open a page. I'm not gonna show you what I've written down, because that's a bit personal, isn't it? But it's just first thing you do when you wake up. Like I'm talking before you even brush your teeth. So you're setting the tone for the day right then. What do most of us do? Kind of reach for our phone, Instagram, check our notifications as soon as we wake up, and then a lot of the time, you start scrolling and you see people living these amazing lives, and you start feeling shit about yours. But it's not the truth anyway. It's just taking everything with a grain of salt. We all know that everything is a million times better when on Instagram in real life. So what this does is just get you back to what's important to you. It's I am grateful for, and you've got to write down 3 things. And then it goes into what would make today great. So you're already programming your day. You're already starting to think about what's going to make your day great. And you've got daily affirmations about yourself. How do you want to, who is the person that you want to be? We've all got a vision of who we want to be and how we want to act. We'll write it down and then start becoming that person. Subconsciously, you'll start taking the actions to become that person. And by writing it down every single day, then all of a sudden it just gets the ball rolling into place. And then at night, before you go to bed, so last thing you do, so just before you go to sleep, you write 3 amazing things that happened today, and then 1 thing on how you could have made today even better. And it might be rewriting a situation that made you feel uncomfortable, or that you thought you could have handled better, and it kind of reprograms you for handling situations similar better in the future. Now, I know that sounds very simple, but if you do that every single day for a good 3 months, it's going to be life-changing. And it kind of sets the tone for the day, and it sets the tone for your sleep, for your subconscious mind, for when you're sleeping. And in a situation what we're facing at the moment, it's extremely important, because if you're watching the news, you feel shit in 10 minutes. I know it's important to stay up to date, but how many times do you need to hear the same thing over and over? It eventually just beats you down into the corner. So that's something that I do every day. And also mindfulness. Now, a lot of people like to use meditation apps, and they're great, but a lot of people can't seem to meditate, or they like the idea but really struggle to get into that mindfulness state. Now, meditation, I feel, isn't just sitting there with your legs crossed going and visualizing and all this and that. Meditation is just single tasking. It's just when you're in the flow zone of that, that's all you're thinking about. You're not worrying about what's going to happen next week if you don't finish this certain task at work, or the world's going to end, or anything like that, or stressing about other factors in your life. It's just when you're in that flow zone where you're not thinking about anything. You're just completely mindful. Now, this is a great time to practice mindfulness. And what would that be? It might be get a puzzle. Do a puzzle. When you're just sitting there and you're just in that flow zone of just trying to figure out the puzzle, that's meditation. Get a colouring book. Start drawing. Start painting. Start that hobby that relaxing hobby that you've always wanted to do, but you never seem to have time. Learn to play the guitar. Things like that is a great opportunity to take on something that gets you in that mindfulness state, in that flow, which overall makes you feel better about yourself. It's a great time to do it because we're going to be locked down, and you can't go outside as much. So why not dedicate some time to finally start that new hobby, or keep perfecting that hobby of when that's all you're thinking about. So that's my perspective on meditation and the way I see it. Now, moving on to number 4. How we going? Few more legends on the line. Keita, Jenny, Chris, Priscilla, Melanie. Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Now, if you have any questions at any time, shoot them through, and then I'll get to them at the end. Jody, hey, welcome to the session. We're getting through it. So we're going to move on to number 4, create the right environment. Now, this is when we sort of step into the practicalities of things and more out of our sort of attitude and sort of the way we look at things mentally. It's more into actual practicality. So creating the right environment. So what's that mean? It means creating the right environment at home. If you've got chocolate and ice cream and biscuits and shit in the cupboard and fridge, you're going to eat it. You might say no to it 9 times, but it's that 10th time where something's frustrating you, you're stressed about something, and you just go, fuck it, and you just grab it. Like that's a food fact. You're gonna, if it's in the house, if it's in the vicinity, you're gonna eat it. Now, once again, it creates this this merry-go-round effect, because when you're starting to consume high energy carbohydrates and sugar, you start to crave them, and you start to get that addiction pattern going. So if there's ice cream and stuff like that in the house, you can easily just have it every day, and you're starting to create a new habit. And then once you got that temporary feeling good about things, and then then the guilt sets in, and then you feel like shit. So it's this small little bliss, and then large feeling like shit and feeling frumpy. Because if you're sitting around the house and you're feeling frumpy and you're not exercising as much, and your jeans are getting tighter and all that you can wear your trackies, then you're going to start feeling shit. And then this whole the whole Covid-19, the whole coronavirus, it's just going to add to it, and you're just going to curl up in the ball and give up. We don't want that. We don't want that for anyone. That's not fair. So you've got to create the right environment. Now, what are some key things to creating the right environment? I bang on about this. Meal prep. And now if you don't meal prep now, you got no friggin' choice. You're going to have to learn. It's something that I've been getting my transformation clients to do for the last 7 years, learn to meal prep. Because the fact is that all nutrition choices readily available like that are bad for you. They're going to make you fat. It's as simple as that. That's why Australia, look, here's another fact. Australia has like more gyms than ever, but our population is more overweight than ever. So that doesn't add up, does it? It just shows that our fast-paced life and eating on the run all the time is making us fat. And you can do as many bloody classes as you want, but if you're eating fast food and things that are quick and easy all the time, you're going to put on weight because it's the 98%. Your exercise is only about 2%. Okay, so it's really important to create the right environment at home. And meal prepping is just so simple. High protein, low carbohydrate meals, you're going to be set, because protein is the building blocks to recovery from exercise. If you're not having enough protein in your diet and you're exercising, you're not getting really anything from the exercise. So you've got to have a high protein diet and a low carbohydrate to keep your blood sugar levels at a steady rate. So you're not creating insulin spikes all day, which leads you to put on body fat. Now, what is something that is really easy, and you can because here's the thing, like you can make meal prepping as complex as you want and you can make it as easy as you want. I like to use things like the slow cooker. And you know what's better than a slow cooker? 2, 3, sometimes even 4 slow cookers. You can make like 30, 40 meals in about 15 minutes prep time. Chicken, beef, other cuts that, and the cheaper cuts too. You don't have to buy the expensive ones because when you slow cook things, it just makes the meat just fall apart. And experiment with spice. Mexican spices, Indian spices, Thai spices, and throw your vegetables in. Basic vegetables. Don't chuck your. Here's a pro tip. When you're using a slow cooker, cook the meat and the sauce and your beans and stuff overnight. Just because this is the best way to do it, or before you go to work. While we're still going to work. But the best thing to do is put on just before you go to bed, because that way you can monitor it if need be. And then when you wake up first thing in the morning, then put your veggies in. So a lot of the time you're just going to use frozen veggies, frozen broccoli, cauliflower, those types of veggies. Then just put your frozen veggies in, chuck the lid back on, stir it through, and then just let that sort of simmer along just for another hour or so, and that way you don't nuke the shit out of your veggies and lose all the nutrients out of them. So that's one little step. Also, just easy meals. And when you cook, don't cook for just one person. Cook for a tribe, because you don't want to be in the kitchen all the time making a mess. Because especially if you're at home all the time, like a bit more of the time, and you're not as active, and that you've got to pull everything out of the crisper and make a mess. Dirty your pan, dirty the bench, and all this. Or the other option is just chucking 2 bits of toast in the toaster and whacking some peanut butter or Vegemite on it. Yeah, a lot of the time you're going to go option B, aren't you? Whereas if you have something in a container ready to go in the fridge, bang, pop in the microwave, 2 minutes, bang, eat it down, then there's not going to be that temptation. So if you're cooking all the time, then it's going to wear thin pretty quick. Now, if you want some recipes, then comment below. I've got a stack of recipes, free recipes that I can give you that is designed high protein, low carbohydrate, and easy to make in fast, delicious, nutritious recipes that only take 10-15 minutes to make, and you can make it in volume. You can make it in as big a scale as you want. So yeah, and most of the meals freeze well, because we want to have options to freeze, don't we? If you're going to spend that time in the kitchen, that 1 or 2 hours in the kitchen, make one mess, make it once, make 30, 40 meals. Easy. You can do it easy. Another tip, apart from the slow cookers, is using the big rectangle fry pans as well. Get them from Kmart, $30. Once again, what's better than 1, 2, 3 if you want? Because you can chuck a whole lot of food in there and really prep up meals very, very fast. So yeah, comment below if you want some recipes. So that's creating the right environment. And this leads into the next one, having a support network. Now this is when we're more talking exercise now. Okay, so when you're at home by yourself all the time and you're logging on to do YouTube workouts, or workouts from a generic app with really no support from someone, just say, Emily Skyfit program or something like that, some celebrity who has a program. Look, let's be honest, like it looks cool and stuff on the Instagram ads, but when you actually log into it, you get no support. You never talk to them ever. So that's cool for about a week or two, but I can guarantee you're going to get over it. You're going to start feeling isolated. There's that second guessing about, oh shit, am I doing form right? And yeah, just that whole feeling lonely thing kind of starts setting in, and I don't think that's fair for anyone. You know, the technology is good enough now to make you feel as connected as ever, especially with exercise, as you would if you did classes at a gym with your friends. Things like Zoom, Skype, these types of things. A lot of seems to be the answer to creating that community environment and that support network. And that's what the biggest goal was when we sat down last Monday when gyms were announced that they had to shut legally. It was like, right, well, how can we transition all what is that vibe and that community feel and that support network that is at the gym to an online space? Now, it was lucky enough that I did a trial program, did a 6-week trial program late last year for the virtual space, because I saw, just before this COVID-19 and before the coronavirus, I saw a massive gap in the market where a lot of people couldn't get to the gym anyway, but still missing the missing link was that community feel. So I went about and created a virtual program before Christmas and ran a 6-week program, and it was a huge success, and it was something that was going to be implemented into my business eventually anyway. So we already had that experience under our belt to launch it, and that's what we've done with ISOFIT. You might have seen some photos and stuff of the guys who have been doing the program, and look, it's exactly the same as at that vibe at the gym. We've got that banter, that energy between the guys, and to be honest, like, it allows, from my experience as the coach, it allows me to coach better because I can see people. When I'm at the gym, you know, I might be over one side over there in the corner, and I might be missing out on what someone over in the far left's doing. Whereas when I've got the screen here, I can give feedback like that, and it just seems to be working out really, really, really well. And the guys who are doing it, you know, posting sweaty selfies and just good banter between each other. Even while we can, a lot of the guys are getting together in the park and doing the workouts together live. So, you know, it still has that community spirit as well as getting that workout done and the result. Because at the moment, this whole, you know, working out from home stuff and following YouTube videos and generic apps and stuff like that, it's a novelty. But I can guarantee if we're kind of locked down for 1, 2, 3 months, who knows? We don't even know. But that's what they're forecasting. A few months, you're going to get over it. You're going to get sick of it. And then that feeling of waving white flags, screw it, I'll start again in spring, that can set in, and then you're already behind the 8 ball. Whereas now's a great time to throw yourself in a community environment and get your workouts in. And because when you work out, we all know you never regret a workout. No matter how shit you felt before a workout, you never regret it after. You feel better. And getting that workout in is going to trigger that better state of mind. It's going to trigger more positive nutrition choices, and it's going to bring it all together. So so if you wanted to know more about the ISOFIT program, on what we've got going, then shoot me a message or comment below, and we'll get you going on a free week. So guys, just a quick recap. That's what this is all about. It's about bringing everything together. Mindset, creating the right environment, attitude, nutrition choices, and then the exercise. Let's bring it all together to give you an all-round approach to give you the best chance of staying positive through a really, really tough situation. So, quick recap before we sign off. It's okay to feel crap. You know, if you put yourself under too much pressure of feeling good all the time and you're not feeling good, then it just adds to that. It just adds levels to that stress and anxiety even more. Because you're like, why do I feel crap? I should be happy all the time. That's not fair. 2 is perspective and attitude. There's a lot of things that we can't control at the moment, but one thing we can always control is the way that we look at things and our attitude towards things, and the decisions that we make every minute of the day. That's on us. That's something that we choose, and that's something that we control. So I feel as all the energy should be put towards that. Number 3, some tips on mindfulness. Once again, the 5-minute journal. It's really good. It's rad. Consume positive content. When you're out, while we can, get some fresh air, go for a walk, put on a podcast, something that is going to leave you, make you feel inspired and good. Not something that's going to make you negative and shit. Do a puzzle. Start that hobby that you've always wanted to do. Learn the guitar. Something where you're only thinking about that and that only. That's mindfulness. That's meditation. It doesn't necessarily have to mean like sitting there, with your headphones in on an app. But if you want to do that, then that's absolutely sweet too. 4, create the right environment. Slow cookers, high protein meals, make volume, cook for a tribe, rectangle fry pans, things like that. And you don't have to, like, all the food is readily available. And here's another thing: a lot of you guys tuning in are in the local area, Albury-Wodonga. Zanelle, who you all know and love, her and her husband have a wholesale butcher just down the road from the gym in an Internet Crescent, and they've got their wholesale butcher open now to the public. So instead of buying your stuff from the supermarket, support a local business. The effort that you put in there to support a local business is affecting their lives personally. Whereas, Woolies and Coles, their stocks up at the moment. They're killing it. And it doesn't mean really shit to us. Whereas you can impact someone locally and someone that you know in a really positive way by doing a simple task. And so that's one thing that I encourage you guys to do, is support local businesses to buy your food when you're creating the right environment. And support network. As I said, doing YouTube workouts and workouts from a generic app where, from a famous, Insta-famous person, the ads look sweet because they've got a massive marketing budget. But then when you actually download the app and start doing the workouts, you're like, oh shit, I'm just doing this by myself, aren't I? There's no community. You actually don't even know the coach. You'll never get any feedback from them or any support. So, and look, we might be in this for a few months. So you're going to get pretty bored of that. And the chances of giving up is very high. So creating the right environment and a support network when you can log in live workouts, just like at the gym, and those people know that you're coming in on that session and you're creating accountability for yourself. It's going to be more motivating, and that's what ISOFIT is, and that's what we've tried to create for you guys. So make sure if you're interested, message me. I'll get you going. And that's about it, guys. If you've got any questions, shoot them up. I'll hang around for another minute or so, and yeah, we'll wrap things up, and I'll let you get on with your night. Hey Cooler, hey Gary, hey Ash, hey Kiz, hey Cheryl, hey Daniel, Kev, Naomi. Good to see you on the session, guys. All right, I think we're sweet. We're nearly at half an hour of actual chat time, so I'll wrap it up there. Guys, thank you so much. I hope this helps. They're simple steps, but everything's meant to be simple, because if it was hard, you can't follow it for more than a few days. So keep it nice and simple, and it allows you to actually make these habits stick and become a part of your life. And that's what it's all about. Keep it simple. Kiss, that's how I live my life. Keep it simple, stupid. Because, life's hard enough. So why not make being healthy, happy in your body and your mind as easy as possible. So thanks, guys. Signing out. For now, you've been an awesome audience, and I really appreciate you tuning in. I'll chat to you soon.